Hi guys, I wanted to make an informational video about the IPETS training collar. This is the 618 model. Let me start by saying I don't work for IPETS. They do not pay me. I don't get anything free from them. They probably don't even know I'm making this video. So also, I want to say that I am not a professional dog trainer. I'm a fireman by trade. This is just something I do on the side because I love dogs and I get to work with a lot of animals. So I am in no way, shape, or form a professional. Everything I'm saying here is just my opinion. Take it or leave it. I will say this, I have been using this product. I've been using IPETS products for 4 years now. I use them every day, multiple hours a day. I have worked with over 100 dogs with these collars. So while I'm not a professional, I do have a decent amount of experience using this product. I have no reason to make a video and lie to you guys about anything. There's no gain for me. So this is the IPETS training collar model 618. Originally, I bought the 619. If you go to IPETS Mall, that's their website. Just Google IPETS training collar and you'll find it. They have multiple different collars on there. They have a 619 and a 618. Those are the only two that I've had any experience with. The 619 is less expensive, it's smaller, and you get what you pay for with that product. And if you spend more money, you'll get what you pay for with this product. Both products work. I've had a lot of success with both. The reason that I upgraded to this 618 model is simply because IPETS has a fantastic warranty. Let me tell you guys that. If you have any problems, they will replace the product free of charge. They have replaced my products, the 619 model. They replaced 2 collars and a remote with that. On the 618 model, this one, I'm now on my 3rd set of 3. I have had 0 problems with their customer service or their warranties. They send me what I need with no questions asked, and I don't have to send anything back to them. So that's been fantastic, and I gratefully appreciate them standing behind their warranty. With that being said, the product does wear out. Like I said, I use it a lot every day, multiple hours. Things break. I understand it happens, and they've been fantastic with replacing it. So if you want to go online and purchase the product, I think they have a sale right now. You can get 1 receiver and a remote for $79 or a combo pack of 3 for like 130 bucks. And that's a fantastic price. If you're doing any shopping around, you'll realize real quick that is a great price, and I highly recommend this product. So this is the 3-pack model. When you open it up, you're gonna find in here that you get a remote. You have 1, 2, 3 receivers, and 3 collars. 1 orange, 2 black collars, 2 black receivers, and a green receiver. You can mix and match the colors however you guys see fit. This is the antenna. This is the only assembly that it takes. You just put the antenna in the remote. It screws in right there. It's super easy. Done. Now this thing is ready to go. Okay. Let me show you all the rest of the stuff in here before we get into the collar. So here's your three different collars themselves. Black receiver, second black receiver, green receiver, charging cables, and a charging port. It's just USB. Regular wall outlet. You can charge 2 collars at the same time, or your remote and 1 collar at a time. Takes a couple hours to charge when they're completely dead. The collars themselves already come with these prongs on there, but it's a simple twist to get them off. And then you just screw it back on. In my hand is the tester for the electrical shock, and it's got a little hex screw on there so you can tighten these down if you want to. It also comes with some different sizes or replacements for the prongs, and I want to show you real quick what you have as far as the sizes go with those. They come with these little black bumpers on them. You can use them with the bumper. I'm only assuming that when it comes to electrical shock, you're going to lose some of that ability there with obviously with the rubber still on. So take it off. This is what it's going to look like. You have, and I apologize, this is going to be difficult in my hand. I'll try to set this up the best I can here. 3 different lengths there. What they look like on the collars. This is the shortest, medium, and the large prongs. And just to get a little bit of a frame of reference, if you keep the prongs that come with the product on there, the black piece is just a bumper, and you compare that to the long ones you can see. Now, what this is for, this doesn't deliver any more shock, doesn't make the shock more intense. If you got I got a 110-pound German Shepherd that I walk 3 times a week. He's got a thick coat to get all the way to his neck. This is the one that I've got to use for him. You have a smaller dog, dogs with short hair, just use whatever's appropriate. When you put these on your dog, you want them tight. You need to make sure that once it's on there and it's snug, it stays in place, because if it moves, you're jeopardizing whether or not you've made contact now, so your shock will not work or may not work. You're not going to hurt your dog. You don't want to choke him out, but you want it tight enough that it doesn't just spin around. And the way that I check is I will slip one finger underneath. So once I get this on the dog, I sit you down fairly tight. Again, use common sense. But if you can get a finger underneath there, you shouldn't have to struggle to get a finger underneath there. But if you can get a finger underneath there and it just doesn't slip in and out, you're good. If you can get 2, it's too thick, or you have too much space there. So 1 finger, you want it to be fairly snug. Like I said, you just don't want your finger to slide in there. You don't want the collar to be able to turn around. But you obviously aren't trying to choke your dog out either. Okay. The next thing, the last thing I guess that's in the package, like I said, is this receiver. It checks to see if you're getting an electrical charge. I check these on myself just to make sure, but when I first started using this product, I also checked it on myself, and I'll get into that a little bit later. But what you do, so let's go back to the remote here, okay? You have down here at the bottom, it says off, and it goes from 0 all the way to 8. I believe 1 to 2 is 11 through 20, and 2 through 3 is 21 through 30. However, there's not a lot of space there, and it just spins. So your guess is as good as mine if you're out at a level 14 or if you're at a level 15. So just stay with the certain numbers. Level 1 is very, very minimum. Most likely your dog is not even going to feel shock on level 1. Vibrate, they will, but the shock is so minimal. I'm shocking myself right now. I'm feeling nothing, okay? So at the top you have the vibrate button, the middle is shock, and the bottom is tone. You turn on your collar, there's an arrow there on the side. You grab the collar, the receiver that you want, there's an arrow right there, and you put the 2 arrows together and you hold them there. My apologies. Let me turn this one off real quick. Okay, you put the 2 arrows together and hold them there until you hear a beep and it turns green. You heard it beep, the light flashed green on there. This collar is now paired to whichever channel that you select up here. You have channels 1, 2, and 3. So this collar is paired to channel 1. You hit the beep. Okay, you know that it works. We'll switch to channel 2. And I've already paired another collar, so my apologies there. Let me turn this one off. Okay. So nothing's happening, right, with the green collar because I'm on channel 2. So channel 1, beep. vibrate. Okay, so here's your vibrate mode. See that light stays steady? It's very, very minimal. It's on level 1. I don't know if you can hear that or not. It's just like a cell phone vibration. Hi, Sammy. That's Sam over there, bud. Say hi. Say hi to everybody in YouTube land, Sam. It's just like a cell phone vibration. It's not a big deal. You're not hurting your dog by any means. All it's doing is changing the focus, and we'll get into the training stuff later. And then you have the shock. Now, to find out if the shock is working and you don't want to do it on yourself, all you do is there's a little wire in there. You put that on the prongs, hold it in place, and you hit the shock button. See how that light is bright and constant on? That was 100% level 8. Here's level 1. You can barely see that light flashing. Let's go to level 3. A little bit better, right? But it's not constant. It's not like it was here on level 8, okay? You can tell this is the brand new color. I just unboxed it, no problems. This thing's working 100%. This is the first and original green color that I got. And let me get this thing on here. Okay, you're gonna see right now, level 8, this is 100%, nothing. No response whatsoever on this. This color, it will still beep and vibrate, but it does not shock at all, which is a lot of the problem, which is why I've had to replace so many of these. The whatever inside of it, the mechanism inside of the shock, it slowly dwindles down to you're constantly having to bump up the level. And when I say dwindle down and constantly bumping it up again, remember, I use these products every day, multiple hours a day for many years. The regular person won't probably have the same issues that I'm having, and if you do, IPETS will replace them free of charge. So don't let that be I'm not trying to deter you from buying this product. I would buy this product time and time again. It's a fantastic product, okay? But that's how you check. Now, the last thing I wanted to tell before we go into the training is in order to turn off your collar, you just do the same thing. So you go right back and you pair them up again. There's a light on the collar, it turns red, and then it's off, and you can see that this is no longer blinking anymore. You can, push the vibrator tone button, it's doing nothing, it's off. When you store it, make sure, and I've done it many times, I leave the remote on, see it's still blinking. Make sure you turn your remote off. I can probably go a week or two with multiple hours of use on these things without having to charge them. So they're gonna last you many, many uses before you have to recharge them. Unfortunately, there's no indicator that I'm aware of that tells you, hey, the battery life is dying. So if you know that maybe you're gonna go out for a hike in the woods or something, maybe just charge it that morning and the night before anyways, just so you're not stuck in a situation where it dies on you. So that's the collars, that's all the function of the collar and the remote. If you have any questions, please hit me up and I'll answer them to the best of my ability. Again, I'm not a professional dog trainer, and I am not a representative of IPETS. I don't work for them. You can go on their website or call customer support to get technical questions answered. But again, the range on this thing, part of the reason why I switched the 618 from the 619, the range on this says it's like 800 yards, which is fantastic because sometimes the dogs are out of eyesight for me, and I want to make sure that if I tone them to come or vibrate them, that the connection is being made. On the 619, I noticed within 50 yards that they weren't really working anymore, and I wasn't getting a response from the dog. So that's the product. Now, why did I get into these? So first of all, I am a dog lover. I love animals and I love my dogs like they're my children. I've never used shock collars ever in my entire life until I got Sam, and I don't use choke chains or any of those things. Again, I'm not a professional dog trainer. I'm not here to tell you that those are bad, or that's up to you to decide. I don't use them. I try to be as humane as possible when training an animal, and I'm not saying that those devices are not humane. When I rescued Sam, he had some behavioral issues that we were trying to work through, and I wasn't getting the correct response that I wanted. Again, I'm not a professional dog trainer, but love and treats just weren't doing it. So my sister has a 150-pound Rottweiler. She uses a shock collar on him, and she suggested that I borrow it and try it out. So the first thing that I did is I turned it on and I put it on myself, palm it in your hand, strap it and tie it to your forearm, tie it to your leg. I really wouldn't recommend putting it on your throat, although I know people that have. Nonetheless, I wanted to shock myself with this and see exactly what it is that my dog is feeling. Dogs have a higher pain tolerance than humans do. If you can tolerate this, your dog is going to tolerate it. So Sam weighs 80 pounds. I started off at a level 0, dialed it up slowly, and hit the shock until I could feel it. Right now, let's turn this on. This is brand new remote. Brand new remote, right out of the box, brand new remote and receiver. Is going to have 100% of the delivered shock. I'm doing it on a 1, and I can barely feel anything in there. Dial it up to a 2. Okay, now I can feel it. Let me tell you something. This is how you know these collars are going bad. This thing is brand new. I can feel it on a 2. I can do this all day. It's not hurting me at all. I'm just feeling like this little, pulse in my palm. Some of these other collars I have, I can 100%, and I'm not feeling any electrical activity coming through to me. And the light will still come on some of them. So there's something wrong internally. You don't want to find that out when you need it. So that was a 2. Dial this up, using it on a 3 now. I can still hold it in my hand. It's not the best feeling in the world, but I would not use the word pain or hurt at all right now. Okay, so I did this to myself all the way up to 8, which is 100% on here. 8 doesn't feel good. You could probably use the word hurt. Maybe that did hurt a little bit. It's not great, but the second you stop, it doesn't hurt anymore. It's safe for the dogs. Let me just tell you that. It is safe. You are not causing any permanent damage to your dog. You are not hurting them. It's a correction tool, okay? So I did that to myself first, and I said, okay, great. I'm comfortable using this with my dog, who I love more than anything, okay? Like I said, this is a training tool. I train all my dogs and the dogs that I watch and that I work with. I train them to understand when they hear this, that means come. I start off by doing it here at the house with treats. I call them, I put a collar on them, I call them, and I just hold the beep button down until they get to me. Once they get to me, lots of love, praise, give them a treat, good boy, good girl, and then we do it over and over again until they start to hear this without me having to say come, and they just come running to me, right? You want to train a dog to think that sound means reward, okay? You do that, you get out in the desert, you let the dogs run around, maybe they get without eyesight, and you see somebody else coming through the desert and they got a couple dogs, you just want to make sure you got control of the situation, and you just start beeping the dogs and they all come running back to you. Fantastic. It's meant to break their focus and get the focus back to whatever command you're giving. So you move on to the vibrate mode. Vibrate, again, it's just an increased level of correction, behavioral correction. If the dog's not listening to the vocal command or the beep, then just vibrate them. You can start off on a low setting. I dial up vibrate all the way to 100% because again, it's not shocking dog, it's just vibrating. You vibrate them. No dog that I've ever put this on, the first time I hit the vibrate button, did they ignore it? They all look around like, what was that? What was that, right? Cool, you broke their focus off whatever it was that they were fixated on and not listening to your command. Now, give the vocal command again. Hopefully they come, go back to the beep. If it doesn't work, maybe hold down the vibrate, whatever you need to do with that dog to get them to listen to the vocal command you're giving. I reserve the shock only for emergency situations. Like I said, Sam had some separation anxiety. My sister gave me hers to borrow and use. The three major issues that we were working on with Sam was this. Number one, I used to take him to the park every morning when I got him when he was 7 months old. He had a lot of energy, and I'd kick a soccer ball as far as I could, and he chased it down and bring it back to me, chase down and bring it back to me, and I'd do that, for a little while before I'd go to the fire station in the morning. The first, couple times we were out there, he didn't want to leave when I told him it was time to go. I get it, it's fun, Dad's ruining the fun. And it got to the point where I literally would have to chase him down, put a leash on him and drag him back to the car. So I said, okay, well, we're not gonna do this. So I got in the car, he still didn't follow me, he's sitting in the middle of the park just looking at me, and I drove off. And then he starts chasing the car because his number one issue is separation anxiety. He wants to be with Dad. So let me get to the separation anxiety thing. He'll jump a fence to come find me. If I leave the house, I cannot leave Sam outside. If I left Sam in the backyard, he would jump, not anymore, but when he was a puppy, he would jump the fence to come find me. 6-foot fence, no problem. Took him to a dog park, and my wife was there, and I ran back to the car to go get something, and he had jumped the fence and followed me back to the car. So put the collar on him, left my wife inside the dog park area with the dogs. I purposely left. He went to go jump the fence. As soon as he started to jump, my wife delivered a very low level shock, and he sat down, and he looked around, and then he went to jump the fence again. She did it again, and then he didn't try again. We went to the dog park, or to the park the next morning, kicking the soccer ball before I left for work. I said, come on, Sam, let's go. He sat down, I beeped him. He didn't do anything, delivered a very low level shock. He came running to me, and I've never even had to tell him other than come, and he comes to the car every single time since then. It was just one of those things where he's like, okay, I get it, I'm coming. When you put this on your dog for the first time, you're gonna wanna start off with the very lowest level setting on the remote with shock, and as long as you're holding the button down, it's delivering the impulse. If you just do it one time, it's one quick little shock. If you hold it down, it's constant. Lowest level possible, hold it down, don't say anything, just watch your dog and see what their behavior is. If their behavior isn't changing the slightest bit, like nothing's going on, that's not the number for them. Go up to the next number, do it again. As soon as your dog is like, hey, what the heck, right? They don't need to yelp, you don't need to hurt them. As soon as your dog shows that they are receiving stimulus from this and you have their attention now, that's the lowest level setting that you need to correct the behavior, and you use that. You don't have to go up to 8. Now, let's just say you're at a number 3 with your dog and maybe they're really refusing to listen. Okay, go to 4 for that one correction, and then dial it back down to 3 again, okay? You know your dog better than anybody else. As long as you're using this with the correct intentions, you're not gonna hurt your animal, and you're gonna have a wonderful experience of being able to do things off leash with your dogs that most of us wanna be able to do without having to have a 3-foot leash or a 50-foot lead attached to them, okay? So I hope I've answered all questions that you may have. If you do have another question and I didn't address it here, shoot me a message. I'd love to hear from you. Again, I'm not a professional. I don't work for IPETS, but I'll do the best I can to answer your questions. Thanks, and have fun.